Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give me, I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it.
Hey everyone, it's Melina from Jumping to Freedom, and today is a story time. I am talking about the first time I ever fell off a horse. This was probably the most painful accident I've ever had, and I mean ever. So it was like just before I started lessons. It was kind of a new barn to me. I was working at Stonehaven. I had been there multiple times before, but this was the first time I ever started lessons. So they put me into a day of camp to just see where my riding was at. And they asked me what horse I wanted to ride. And I usually would go through and pick like my favorite. My favorite was like a little halfling or pony at the time. But I thought, no, I want some kind of a challenge. So I picked Smore. This horse is evil. I mean, currently they don't have him anymore, but the horse hated me. He was really, really fat, too. Like, I felt bad. He always needed, like, a girth extender, and he was just a really big boy and temperamental, and wasn't a good plan. But I go through him just like, you know what? I want to ride Smore. So they're just like, okay, well, we'll put you down for Smore. And so I go through, and I go out to the pasture, I grab him, I tack him up, and we're all in the arena and we're riding. And my trainer goes through, and she's like, okay, how about you go through and pick up a canter? This wasn't the first time I've ever cantered, but it was the first time in a long time. And so I don't really remember the cues. I don't remember how to like keep my seat. I don't remember how to grab on with my legs. Those muscles really aren't that developed at that time. And she's like, canter. I'm the only one out there. I'm the only one cantering. Everyone else is in the middle. Just like, this is embarrassing. And I'm just going through and I'm trying to canter. It's just a really fast trot. She's like, you have to keep your seat. I'm just like, well, you try keeping your seat on this thing. Well, I go through and I finally kind of start to get him to canter. And he had, like, it was really choppy. And he sped up. So it was almost like sitting a trot. And I don't want to say gallop type speed, but it was just a really, really fast canter. And it was not comfortable, especially when you were kind of new to the process and to how it felt. And so we were going around, and I make it around about once in the arena. And I lose my stirrup, because heels down was not engraved in my head at that point. So lost a stirrup, and I didn't check my girth before I got on. And the saddle started to spill because I was leaning my weight because I had lost my outside stirrup. And it was going in. He's still going super fast. He'd never slowed down. I even trying to pull him back, he wasn't listening. And I just saddle flips over to the side, and I go rolling. I landed on my hip, though. So that's what got me. So I'm like laying in the sand. All the wind's knocked out of me. And like I can breathe, but I can't move anything. Like I can move my head back and forth. So I thought that was a good sign. But then I couldn't even, like the brain signals going on between my head and my legs weren't working. And I couldn't move anything else but my head. And I'm just like, oh great, I'm paralyzed. That was the first thought that came to my head. And he comes over and he's standing there with his bridle on. And he's just like, oh, did I lose you? Yes, Smore, you lost me. But, the trainer comes over and she's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, no. No, I am not. Of course, I'm laying like face down, not face down, face up in the goddamn sand. And I'm laying there, I'm chilling. I'm not moving. I don't want to move. I get up, get all the sand brushed off of me. Now he's behaving. A lot of that was me. That was my fault. However, he was still evil, and that's still going to be recognized. So, I get back up, and I'm just like, okay, where's my horse? And I actually get back on, because the whole, if you don't get back on, you're never gonna get back up there. I pretty much, I still live by that. So I got up and got back on him. I was just walking around for a little bit, and I just went straight back into jumping after walking around for a little bit. And I could feel that something was a little off, but it wasn't anything major. I mean, I just fell off a horse for the first time. I knew it wasn't going to feel nice. Well, I then proceed to get off, and something snapped. It was my hip. So I go through the rest of the day, and I get them untacked, I put them back. I'm sore as hell. Sore as hell. And I finally, my grandma came to pick me up. So I go out there, and she's like, you have fun? How'd it go? I'm just like, I fell off a horse for the first time. She's like, what? What happened? Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I fell off. It hurts. But I got right back on. Well, later that night, it was a little bit difficult to sleep. And I'm just like, she was all like, are you sure you're okay? And I was all up on pain medications, as much as Tylenol and Aleve can do for you. But so the next day I decided I was still gonna go through, and I was gonna go to my Aunt Lori's, and we were gonna go camping and everything, and I was gonna spend a few days at her house, and she lives an hour away, so it was a nice drive. Well, it was the second day I was there. I went through and I couldn't feel my legs. She went through and she applied pressure and I couldn't feel anything. And just to, so she knew, I wasn't trying to, fake her out, she went through and she had me turn around, and she went to the back into, a little sewing closet, and she grabbed a sewing needle, and she's not, stabbed my leg. She poked my leg, and nothing flinched, nothing went on. I knew that something had, I could feel, the pressure, but I couldn't really feel anything in it, other than, slight pressure. She's like, okay, well, we're gonna call your mom, and we're going to the doctor's. And I'm just like, what? Huh? She's like, yeah, I just stabbed your leg with this, and holds up the needle. I'm just like, okay, I'm out. I have a fear of needles, by the way. That's why. So we go through, and we're driving, and I'm super uncomfortable. But we get to my doctor's office, and we're doing a bunch of x-rays. Nothing was super bad. It was highly dislocated, though. My hip had moved over about 2 inches from the original position where it was supposed to be. Yeah, that wasn't fun. At all. That explained the slight discomfort I had when I was sleeping, sitting, breathing. So, from there, I went through, and my mom picked me up, and she took me back home, and we went to the chiropractor, and he worked with my hip a little bit, trying to get it back to wherever it was, supposed to be, which took about half an hour and a lot of tears. But my chiropractor was really good. The fact that I was in tears, he's just like, you really are in pain. This is not normal. I'm just like, I know, just do it. So he finished it, and I'm just like, I don't want to move. Now it's almost like I'm in more pain now than I was before. I'm just like, what if this goes back out? I'm just bunch of what ifs run through my head. At least I'm not paralyzed. That was the good thing, and everyone kept telling me that. I'm just like, Well, oops. I guess I should have learned to canter a little bit better before I kind of did that. Oops. But went through, and it's just staying up on pain medications and all that jazz. And it like finally kind of like healed itself. However, to this day I have more than a couple hip issues. One leg's now permanently longer than the other at all times. And God forbid things are actually now out of place. So like my foot will be like right here, like sticking out kind of thing. But then that's like a normal. And then my left side will be like all the way out here. Well, that's an exaggeration. It's more like that kind of a distance. But it's quite a distance when everything is out of whack and my hip's already messed up. And today I still ride horses and I still fall off. Yes. But I canter better and I don't fall off because of stupid mistakes. So that's my story time. That's the first time I fell off a horse, and I still continue to ride that horse in lessons after that day. That's perseverance, people. That's perseverance. So go through, subscribe. More story times will be coming. Tutorials, vlogs. I have yet to do a barn vlog, and that's on my list of things to do. So go through, subscribe, so you could stay updated. Bye, y'all.